Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another COVID-19 lockdown workout and talk session. So, come on in, everybody, come on in. We are going to be talking this morning how to get out of a toxic relationship. And of course, what are the signs that you are actually in a toxic relationship? And so, today, guys, it's another beautiful day. We are giving God thanks for keeping us alive, for waking us up in our right minds. We are so thankful. We are so grateful to God. So, guys, as you come in, make sure that you leave a comment, share the live. Good morning, Miss Novlet. Share the live with someone so that they can be a part of the discussion. It's funny, guys, but I don't know about you, but I have been in bad relationships that I wanted to get out of, right? And you know what, people? Nobody's gonna upright and straight up tell you, leave your husband, leave your boyfriend, leave your woman, leave your wife, right? But hey, Keshawn, you know that you are in a bad relationship and you need to get out. So we're gonna explore this morning what can you do and how can you get out of that bad relationship. Now, yesterday morning we discussed signs that the man is broken. And yes, guys, we are very much cognizant of the fact that there are broken women also, right? But as I said, we are always so focused on the broken women. We don't take the time out to look at the broken men, right? And a lot of men are actually so broken. They are so messed up. They are dealing with hurts from the past. They're dealing with abuse from their teenage years and that sort of thing. And it's just really terrible for them. And so at the end of the day, guys, we have to learn how to deal with the hurts and so on. I'm trying to get a little bit more lighting. All right. How to deal with the hurts. And so we have to know that if you are in a bad relationship, when do you get out? At what point do you say, listen, it's time to call it quits? It's time for me to let go. It's time for me to move on. Some people hold on to the toxic relationship for so long that they themselves become toxic. They are poisoned beyond repair. And when they eventually go get out, when they move into a relationship with another person, they are so poisoned that they actually poison everybody else that they get involved with. And so, guys, we don't want for you to get to that point where you are filled with toxins from the toxic relationship, where you are so poisoned that it is hard for you to move on. It is hard for you to be in relationships or other relationships and still survive. We want for you to be able to get out and experience recovery and you're mended from the brokenness after being in this bad relationship. So come on in, everybody. Let me know that you are here. Let me know you are here. And guys, if you notice that I have gone ahead, I did some work thanks to Christopher. Last night he asked me to stream the program for him, and I was just able to get a little bit more time to browse around on StreamYard to make the whole presentation of the live a little bit presentable. So I shared a story, guys. I shared a story, and let me see. Let me see if I can pull up the site. No, hold on. I'm not gone. I'm right here. I'm just trying to pull up a story. Okay. I'm trying to find the website that I found it on so that I can share the story with you guys. So I found a story. It is not a new story. It is one that was reported last month, and I want to share this story. It is against this background that we are gonna be having this discussion this morning. And let me know, guys, if you're hearing me, if you're seeing me clearly, let me know. I want to know that you are here. Drop a note in the box. Share the live. Share the live and just give me a moment here so that I can share this live on my page. I want to share this live on my page, my personal page. So let me share. Um, My lip look really red. Like my lipstick look red up on this. My God. Oh wow. A Victoria's Secret lip gloss. All right. So share the live, guys. Just share the live, share the live, share the live. And listen, if you have found yourself in a toxic relationship, and you want to get out, you want to be in this discussion this morning, I want to, guys, for you to be able to share with me, if you are in a toxic relationship, what are some of the signs? What are some things that you have used to help you to know that you are in a toxic relationship? So come on in, everybody. Share the video, share the video. Let me know that you are here. Let me know that you are here. So share, click on the share button. Jamaican women and children. So I'm gonna share this story with you guys, that I came across on the internet. I do remember when the incident took place. It was sometime last month, um, where a Jamaican woman living in the United States was murdered by her spouse. And I want to say at this point, guys, that listen, you can be in a toxic relationship and there is no abuse. You can be in an unhealthy relationship and there is no abuse. None, right? But the relationship is unhealthy, right? So there may not be any physical abuse, but the relationship itself, it is unhealthy for you. And we're going to look at that this morning. I'm going to share the story with you guys, Jamaican women and children. Um, yeah, that's it. That's the story. Let me see. It happened sometime in September. So let me just scroll down here till I find this story. And I went on this website last night, this page on Facebook last night, and there are so many women and children who have been murdered brutally in Jamaica. It is just so sad to see how, people are just being murdered. Like, I'm like, wow, right? So let me look for it. Let me just bring up this story for you guys. I'm coming right up with this story. So Jamaican woman, yeah. It actually happened on the 18th of September. A Jamaican woman murdered in the US, right? By her husband. You have to define toxic, because if a relationship is toxic, there must be some form of abuse. Okay. Hi, Akeem. Thank you, thank you. And Akeem, what you can do for me, you can just go ahead and drop the definition in for me of a toxic relationship. How do we define a toxic relationship, right? So this Jamaican woman, she was living in the United States. Her name, Janice Hutchinson, and I think it's the mother, or somebody says she was an amazing mother, daughter, and friend that was loved by all who entered her life. She was a strong, vibrant, caring, and loving person. And she was only 23 years old. Did you all hear that news, or read that story this week, guys? In Jamaica, where a taxi man was charged for abusing his 16-year-old girlfriend. Did you all hear that news? A taxi man charged for abusing his 16-year-old girlfriend. You ever hear nothing like that yet? Just this week, guys. Just this week in Jamaica, that news came out that a taxi man was charged for abusing his girlfriend. Now, guys, I came across on the internet a quiz. I'm not sure if I can probably try and see if I can pull it up. There is a quiz that you can do to determine whether or not your relationship is toxic, right? And I'm gonna see if I can put this link in the chat box for you guys. I'm gonna let me just bring it up on this screen here so I can share the link with you, and you can actually use this link to assess your relationship to determine whether or not you are in a bad relationship. I'm just gonna share the link with you guys quickly. Just hold on, just hold on. Let me see if it comes up. All right, I'm gonna share it from the other computer. I'm actually using two computers right here. So I'm gonna share it from the other computer on this live. Let me just copy and paste the link, because guys, I want for you to do this assessment to determine whether or not you're in a toxic relationship, because a lot of people, they are in toxic relationship and they will not accept that, listen, I'm in a toxic relationship and I need to get out, right? So let me put the link, let me find the live right here, and I'm gonna share the link in the chat, in the box, and you can click on it. Hold on, let me pause this. You can click on it, guys, and it will take you to, so I just shared the link. I just shared it. Let me know if you are seeing that link. Once you click on the link, guys, you will be able to determine whether or not you are in a toxic relationship. So let me just put something here. Let me pin this let me pin it. Hold on. All right. So the link is right there, guys. So look, click on that link and it will take you to a site that will help you to determine whether or not you are in a toxic relationship. So the questions: does your relationship seem healthy? If it's yes, you click on the yes. Move to the next question, right? Are you happy in your relationship? If it's no, you click on the no. Move to the next question. All right. The next question: do you and your significant other spend more time arguing when you're together than anything else? If it is a yes, you click on the yes. If it is no, you click on the no, right? Move to the next question. The next one says, in your relationship, do you do fun activities together? If it's no, then you click on the no, right? My friends like the person I am with. And that's another way you can determine whether or not you're in a toxic relationship. If your friends like the person you're with, click on the yes. Move to the next question. My significant other discredits my thoughts and ideas. If it's a yes, click on yes, and it's a yes or no, guys. So it's pretty easy, very easy. All right, so let me click on no for that one. Does the person you are with support you and encourage you to try new things? If it's a yes, click on the yes. If it's no, then you click on the no. Next question. Well, do you struggle with feeling like enough in your relationship? Do you struggle with feeling like enough in your relationship? Feeling like enough. Do you struggle with feeling like enough in your relationship? Do you feel like you are enough in your relationship? If it's yes, click on the yes and move along. Do you constantly compare yourself to others? Interesting. Next question. I can open up to my significant other? Can you be open with the person? And it's 10 questions. 10 questions. 10 questions. And what I did, guys, I clicked some yes, some no's, just to determine whether, just to see what the response would have been. Clearly, depending on the answer, then of course. So it says, based on the assessment that I gave here, because I was just clicking on some of the yes, no's, based on your answers, it sounds like your relationship may be struggling. Watch this video and send us a message through this form. So, hey, so there's help out there, guys. There is help out there. So click on that link, guys, and let us know. You can let me know if you want to, if your relationship is toxic or not. And thank you so much, Akeem. Akeem has given me a definition. Akeem, what you doing? You busy? You want to join me in the room? You want to join me in the chat room? Let me know. So he says Lillian Glass, in her book, Toxic People, defines toxic relationship as any relationship between two people who don't support each other, where there is conflict and one who seeks to undermine the other, where there is competition, there is disrespect and lack of cohesiveness. Wow. I don't think you can get that definition any simpler than that, guys. And I'm gonna pin this this definition right here. Let me pin it, right? Because I think for us to look at getting out of a toxic relationship, that is something that you have to understand going forward. What is a toxic relationship? Because we don't want people saying that, hey, I am in a toxic relationship, when in fact you are not in a toxic relationship. Or you don't want people to say that, listen, I am not in a toxic relationship, when in fact you are in a toxic relationship. So we are giving you 2 tools this morning, guys, that you can use to determine whether or not you are in a toxic relationship. We have given you a simple quiz, 10 questions, yes or no. If you answer those questions yes or no, then you will know whether or not you are in a toxic relationship. It will give you the feedback as to the status of your relationship. Akeem has provided a very good definition for us according to Lillian Glass, and you can use that definition to determine whether or not the relationship is toxic. And I'm going to read that again and highlight the points there. Me I work, listen, all right, go and work and listen and comment, all right? So, okay. Akeem, I'll text you when I get off this because I need to ask you something, all right? So it's any relationship between 2 people, and it can be whether it is heterosexual, it could be homosexual, it could be brother and sister, it could be mother and daughter, it could be children and parents, it could be you and your colleagues at work, it could be anybody. So it's any relationship, guys, between 2 people. So 1, there's no support. They don't support each other. 2, there is conflict. And they seek to undermine each other. Number 3, there is competition. Competition, yes. And yes, you can have competition even in your romantic relationships too, right? There is disrespect, lack of cohesiveness. You can't work together. You can't come together to do anything, right? It's just always separating. It's like oil and water. You're in a relationship with a man, you're in a relationship with a woman or whomever, and you can never do anything together. It's always oil and water. And I always say, you know, like some people, they're in relationship or they're married, they don't have a bank account together. And I've heard stories of this before. The woman gone to buy a house. The man doesn't know that the house is being bought. The next thing, you know, woman move out, gone in a house where she buy, and it's just crazy. It's really just crazy. Good morning, Chris. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing? So yes, so we have gotten a very good definition of a toxic relationship. And again, guys, click on the link. And even if you think your relationship is healthy, click on the link. Click on the link and you know, just to appease yourself essentially, and determine whether or not your relationship is toxic. All right. Now, let me see what Nikki is saying. So Nikki says, some of these robotic links breaks relationships instead of making it better. Why determine how healthy your relationship is by survey or via link or other opinions when truly you know your spouse in and out? But you know what, Nikki? You can know if your relationship is toxic, you know. You know, because just the definition alone, disrespect, competition, there's no support, you know that your relationship is toxic. And guys, we are not saying that if you have conflicts, and that's one of the things we're going to be looking at one of these mornings, dealing with conflicts, because conflicts are inevitable, right? You can't avoid conflicts. Conflicts will always be there. So at the end of the day, guys, having conflicts in your relationship is not a determinant factor to say that your relationship is toxic. Hey, Chris, morning. How you doing?
Good morning. Good
To
morning.
say that your relationship is toxic. But of course, these links of these surveys, clearly they were developed by studies. People have done research to say, okay, if a relationship is of this nature, then the possibility lies that it is toxic, right? So that's everyday thing, a part of human nature. Partners have disagreement. We're exactly, and I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that, Nikki. And yes, conflicts are inevitable, but doesn't mean that your relationship is toxic. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Hey, morning, my
Oh, I
dear. Good
have to
morning,
thank you,
everyone.
man. You helped me last night to get my thing looking so much more professional and all of that right now. Thank you.
How did I do that?
I mean,
You're the one that
see, I tell you, I am so much better working in the background than on the front stage. Like I'll get the work done, guys. Like I will. You put me backstage
uh,
to work and everything runs smoothly.
it just tells how much you're a professional. If you're on the front, you're going to shine, and if you go to the back, there's nothing
Listen to
left because you always
you.
shine anywhere.
You said
I
me as a
mean,
professional anywhere we go. Where in
anyway,
front it team
you
or
make
back
it
it
happen.
team.
You
Get
make
the
it
work
happen.
done.
You make it
I'm
happen.
just a hard worker. I'm a worker bee, guys. I'm a queen ant. I work very
And
hard.
I must publicly thank you though, for
Oh,
last
that's
night.
fine.
You
It
were
was great.
super. You were super, and I appreciate you even more. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
You saved the
Thank
day. You
you.
saved it, and it was just an awesome show last night.
It
And
was. It
you
was.
were
And I'll do
there,
it
and you made
again. I'll
thank
be
you.
your producer. Yeah.
Executive
Going
producer.
forward, I'll be your producer.
Only
I'll be
that
your
I
producer going forward.
might see an invoice in the mail. So that's
Exactly. No, you know what? I'm doing it pro bono. I'm doing it pro bono now. Pro bono
okay.
now. All right.
Okay.
So consider yourself lucky. Well, blessed for that matter. Just consider yourself blessed for now. All right. So we're
Of
looking today, guy, Chris, at how to get out of of an a toxic relationship. We're gonna look at the signs of a toxic relationship. And guys, the lack of abuse is no indication, or physical abuse, we say, is no indication that your relationship is not toxic. Good. And just to say again, if there's conflict, if your partner is undermining you, there's no support, no cohesiveness, then it's an indication that your relationship could be toxic. All right. So somebody was saying, Chris, that some of these links, Nikki was saying that some of these links are just robotic and they really don't determine whether or not your relationship is toxic. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's okay to go ahead and use these links? And I say Nikki is still on it. See, these people creating these surveys don't apply all these to their relationship. How funny is that? Well. And some of
what
these people, they have done them, during their studies and so on, guys. But it's for you to do your own assessment. You have to do your own assessments.
I do apologize to the viewers. My internet has been I don't know the word to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
It got corona early in the year, so it was sick. But now I think it is on life support.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The ventilation is just getting worse by the day. But you know the
Mm-hmm.
work must go on. I mean,
Right, right.
we're on a
Hmm.
mission. Yeah,
Yes,
so the work must go on. Yeah, but
yes.
toxic relationship. For me,
Hmm.
toxic relationship is just like toxic people. The people
Yeah.
who are going nowhere. I mean,
Hmm.
like just like a car. You have a car, it has the engine,
Hmm.
it it has all the makeup of a car. Yeah.
Hmm.
But it's just not performing as a car. You have a
Right,
car
right.
that's worth $1 million. Yeah.
Hmm.
It has the tires, has the wheels, have everything. There's gas in there, but
Hmm.
there's just something that is causing it not to function. It's
Hmm.
toxic.
Right,
Instead of it pushing you forward, it is actually tearing you down. It may be draining you
right.
financially,
Hmm.
it may be draining you emotionally, and at the end, it may be draining you spiritually. So I
Hmm.
think that toxic relationship drains an individual, drains a person, because it
Hmm.
seems like you're going backwards. As they would say, you take two steps forward, or you take and 20 backwards. So you realize you find yourself in that relationship where, guess what? You talk about it and still nothing is happening. And some people are very good talkers. I will most recognize that. Some people will talk.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Chris. Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, Chris, your internet gone. Sorry about
Yeah,
that. Mm-hmm.
no, I'm back. Yes, I was saying, some people are talkers and they will talk,
Mm-hmm.
talk, talk, talk.
Mm-hmm.
They know all the right words, but there's no action, there's no life behind their
Right.
words.
Exactly.
And that is
Exactly.
also very toxic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mind you,
Mm-hmm.
I could see two different levels of being toxic because some
Mm-hmm.
will speak, some will talk, but there's no action, and some
Right.
say something at all. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and you find out that you're either stagnant or you're
Mm-hmm.
declining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not growing, you're not moving forward,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
you find that it brings. If one person wants to go forward in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship, and that
Mm-hmm.
person is putting everything, what you find is that it brings. I hear you say you can equate conflicts or conflicts, and I agree you can't equate all conflicts to being toxic.
Right.
But there are some
Yes.
conflicts when you get to that level where it
Mm-hmm.
cannot be resolved. It is toxic. When you
Mm-hmm.
get to
Mm-hmm.
that level where it just no, you can't resolve this. You try everything and you
Mm-hmm.
realize it's feeding on you. Because with
Mm-hmm.
relationships, what I find with relationships it's a lot there's a lot of emotional connection.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
when you're being drained emotionally, then it
Mm-hmm.
affects your entire being. It
Mm-hmm.
affects who you are.
Mm-hmm.
It affects your whole even when you go to work. I've seen
Mm-hmm.
person when I'm on here, but I know of an individual who is in
Right.
a toxic relationship. Yeah,
Mm.
this man would beat her. This man
Mm.
would speak down to her. This man would do
Right.
everything that is
Mm-hmm.
even the workplace
Mm-hmm.
and embarrass her. No, what you can
Whoa.
see from that
Trust me,
person,
I know exactly how that goes. Mm-hmm.
and this person is always you. I knew that person to be. I mean, she was a shining star, but
Mm-hmm.
once this
Mm-hmm.
started to happen, her whole production falls because one,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
production falls. Lowers your self-esteem. You
Mm-hmm.
have no
Mm-hmm.
confidence. You have no more belief in who you are,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and also it caused you now to look at other persons differently. You're now afraid of
Right.
other people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Other people
All right, you're out there a little bit, Chris. All right, hey Natasha, what's up, girl? Welcome, welcome. So while Chris comes back in, guys, Chris is talking about somebody that he knows that's in a toxic relationship and how this has impacted on the work produce. Yeah, I mean your production quality and all of that at work. Chris, you're back. Go ahead.
yes, what I'm trying to do because I realize I'm still on one, so I'm trying to connect to
Switch
both of them. So if
over.
one,
Right.
yeah, so I realize that my net is still up on one, so I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to just send the link. Yeah,
Okay.
so can you just send the link again to my other device? I'm trying to find it. Yeah, so I was saying, when people find themselves in that position, it really
Mm-hmm.
drains them, and
Mm-hmm.
you find
Mm-hmm.
that, like I say, your self-esteem, that
Mm-hmm.
sense of purpose, that sense of who you are, and
Mm-hmm.
what a lot of times people are afraid to move
Mm-hmm.
out because
Mm-hmm.
of what has happened. So now they
Right.
become afraid of the unknown. Why should I
Mm-hmm.
make the step and move out? After all,
Right. Right.
you're stepping on another relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That is, even when they get out, sometimes you find that people it takes a lot of time for them to
Mm-hmm.
heal and recover
Mm-hmm.
because
Yes.
they have been hurt. They
Mm-hmm.
have been they found themselves in situation where no they can't let go of themselves to somebody
Mm-hmm.
else because I can't
Mm-hmm.
trust anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Trusting people now becomes the hardest thing because what
Yes.
you coming out of was really, really sad and broken
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
pity up.
Yeah.
So um it is important that when people find themselves in this type of relationship, you gotta make
Mm-hmm.
a decision. If it's
Yes.
not
Yes.
going anywhere, don't
Mm-hmm.
stay there. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Say
Mm-hmm.
this again. If it's not
Mm-hmm.
going anywhere, don't
Right.
stay there. The
Don't
truth is
stay
this,
in it.
no, one of the things that a lot of times people stay, try and work on it. And
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost, 'cause I'm not saying just walk out of your relationship. I'm not telling
Right.
anybody that. Never do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying work on it, do what you
Yes.
can. But
Yes.
there comes a time when you
Mm-hmm.
realize that,
Mm-hmm.
listen, this man or this woman, is not going to move from where they are. This man
Mm-hmm.
is going to cause you, and when you assess your life, what
Yes.
has this person contributed to your life to make you a better
Mm-hmm.
person?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was this
Mm-hmm.
person helping you to move forward?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you find out, hey, listen, you are the one who's putting in everything.
Everything.
You are the one,
Exactly. Exactly.
and there's nothing in there for you. So the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
work is so much. Then you're off of
Mm-hmm. And you know what, guys, you being in a toxic relationship, let's say you were in one toxic relationship, it doesn't mean that all your relationships must or will be toxic, right? It's important that you learn the lessons that from one, so that when you transition into another relationship, you don't experience the same kind of level of toxicity in your new relationship, right? So people have to learn lessons, and you have to ensure that you do what is best for you, right? So so I was saying, Chris, that sometimes you find yourself in a toxic relationship. You have to get out of it, and you have to heal, you have to recover, you have to make sure that you are in a better place before you move into another relationship, because I think that is what happens with a lot of people. They are in one toxic relationship, then they transition into another relationship, and they carry over the
baggage.
same bad habit, right? And I believe you can curb, you can curb your habits, you can train yourself and ensure that your relationships become better, right? And you said it, Chris, you have to heal, you have to deal with the hurts of the past before you can now move into another relationship, and of course experience a healthy relationship.
It's important. Yeah. And one other thing that you have to,
Hey,
what
Pastor
have you
Janelle,
learned?
welcome, welcome.
What have you learned in the
Exactly.
past relationship?
Yeah.
What have you
And
learned from this toxicity?
there are a lot of people, Chris, who like to play the victim role.
Yeah. Yeah.
And say, okay. So for instance, men are usually getting the whipping for, being the villain in toxic relationships, right?
Hmm.
We hardly ever hear the story coming from, oh, it was a woman that was being abusive. It was a woman who was doing this. It's always the man. It's always the man. And forgive me, women, if I'm trying to take side with them, if you think I'm taking side with men this morning, but we need to look at it from the man's perspective also, because of a truth, sometimes the women are very much guilty of pumping the toxins, the poison into the relationship as much as the men are guilty, right? And we have to level the playing field. And I believe that we need to level it. Too many times there is inequality, right? When it comes on to relationship and who is right and who is wrong. The woman wants to play the victim at all times, right? Not knowing that, listen, we contribute as women, we contribute to toxins in the relationship also. It's not the men alone. We contribute to it.
Most definitely. Most
Mhm.
definitely. Some relationship are just the thing is
Um, I need to be on this one morning to talk about my. All right, all right. All right, Janelle, let me send you the link. I'm gonna send you the link. So yes, guys. We are looking at unhealthy relationships today. How to get out of unhealthy relationships, right? And everybody at some point in time would have found themselves in a bad relationship that you need to get out of. So let me just send Pastor Janelle this link here. Pastor Janelle, are you my friend on Facebook? Chris, see if you can send Pastor Janelle the link for me, please.
she have to pay me. Tell her she have to pay me. I said,
Uh-huh. So you can send her the
Pastor,
link.
you gotta pay
Send her the link
me.
for me so I can get her on and hear. She wants Pastor Janelle is gonna come on, guys, and give us her side of the story from a spiritual perspective. And you know what, guys? It's a battle. The Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but we let us continue. I'm gonna share with you guys while we're waiting for Janelle to come on, some warning signs that you have to look for. Are you hearing me, Chris?
I am hearing you. I'm hearing you. Just have to search for the.
Oh, that's fine, right? So, Natasha says, I always say, I don't know what some women going to tell God on judgment. It's true, because it is not. And guys, I was in an abusive relationship. You know, I experienced it. And I'm not going to say the man was totally responsible for everything. Sometimes men just respond the best way. And Chris, I heard you shared your story the other night where you said that you initially, and it's like maybe it's a Jamaican thing, maybe it's just a human thing. If somebody disrespect you a certain way, if somebody do something to you, you want to retaliate, you want to respond, right? And I know a lot of people going to come down on me for this. Good, but sometimes, and this is what I've learned, guys, I don't argue with people in relationship. No, if you and I are in a relationship, me not argue with you, right? Me not argue, me not no argument, no bad argument, because let me tell you, is it cuss bring bad word. That's what my student told me one time. Cuss bring bad words. And listen, when you get into that place where you're arguing, yeah, people have their mental issue, people narcissistic, and people, but they are triggered. Sometimes they are triggered. And as women, we have to be careful. What are some of the things that we do to actually trigger some of these behaviors in the relationship that we're in? Or we know that the man of a certain nature, and yet still we push and we fight and we do certain things to encourage the behavior, right? We do certain things to encourage the behavior. And if we stand up, and you said, Chris, set the boundaries. So the first time you're in a relationship with one man and you leave him answer, if you stand up and set the boundary instantly, he would never try it again. He would never try to do that again. If he knows that, listen, man, if me ever try to put my hand on Tamara will kill me, or Tamara will do something to me, him not do it again. Him not do it again.
Though we're not advocating for you to kill anybody.
You know, and sometimes I don't know, like, boy, oh boy.
But you're right. You're right. You see, you have to take a stand.
You have to.
Like I told you all Saturday night, for those who are listening on another program.
Right.
I don't consider myself as an abuser. I've never hit a woman. And the one time the devil put that in my head and tell me I should slap my wife.
Thank you very much.
She drew a line.
Thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
She drew a line.
Yes.
We didn't fight. But then she let it be known. Yeah. She didn't just a lot of times a lot of women just play the victim and they just take it and allow it to happen and it continues. Yes. And I dare say men also.
I felt in that place. Okay. I thought you said you needed to be you wanted to come in. That's all right, Janelle. Right? Yeah. She said not today. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, people need to understand that you need to draw a line, man. You need to put down your foot and say, listen, this is not going to happen. Yeah. And once you see the signs, do something about it.
Yes.
Don't just play dead. And because you're so in love. Yeah. A lot of people are so in love. And like they say, love is blind. But if you're gonna be blind, cataract gonna fool your eye, then you're gonna find out that the two eyes are going to go.
Wow, Chris, you're breaking up there. All right, we're not in an abusive relationship. Absolutely not, Janelle. Absolutely not. You there, Chris? You're back in?
I am back. All
right.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to look, Chris. Go ahead, Chris.
No, go ahead. Right.
So we're going to look at the warning signs, guys, that you are in a toxic relationship. Warning signs. Number one. And you can, this is a red flag, guys. If you meet somebody and this is how they approach towards getting involved with you, they push for quick involvement. That's a red flag, right? So they come out really strong claiming I've never felt love like this by anyone, right? So them strong like whatever say them strong like a lion, right? The initial part of the relationship, love strong so till it can't strong no more. It's like a whirlwind come into your life and them sweep you off your feet, yeah. And I mean, it's just hot, like it's blazing hot, right? So that's one of the first sign, guys, that you may be in a toxic relationship. It is, I mean, it's hot.
Can I say something where
Yes.
that is concerned? And I'm speaking as a male. Yeah? No. When a male tell you that, oh, you know what? You're the best thing that ever happened to me. And I
Yes.
want you so badly, and I want things to happen so quickly until, like,
Chris, I break up. And sometimes they come on so exactly. They come in like a whirlwind, guys, right? And they can't live without you. And I would cross the ocean, I'll climb the maca tree, and I'll jump over the moon, right? So go ahead, Chris, go ahead.
remember this woman. You see, a man who's looking for somebody to settle down with or to be his wife or to spend the rest of his days with, if you jump into bed with them at the first or second encounter, or even the third or fourth, and there is no time for discussion, there is no time to get to know each other, there is
Right.
no time, no, the good and the bad and the indifference, and there's no time for you to have a few conflicts and deal with them, and you jump into bed. I can tell you this, ladies, remember this. As a man, that man don't value you. That man who don't want to spend the rest of his life with you because that man
Wow.
sees you as somebody, you know what, the next man that comes and do the same thing
Yes.
and with a magic one, you're gonna do the same thing. Yeah?
Yes.
So
Yes.
allow a man to learn about you. A man must want you so badly that a man is going to do whatever it takes. And if it takes 2 years of
Yes.
dating, yeah, but be careful.
Wow.
And that is why you
Yes.
have you have unwanted pregnancies. You have people who get into a relationship because you see, Pastor Janelle will tell you that sex is a spiritual bond. Yeah. And when sex comes into play, then there's something that is deposited into the spirit also. Yeah. And then so you find out that, and that is why women in particular, because something is deposited inside of them, women in particular become so attached. And when that man runs after the first or second encounter, she's so broken. The man don't
Wow.
feel the same. The man
Yes.
don't feel the same, you know. The man just enjoy the ride and hey, go and look for the next case. But the woman who was so much in love that she could
Right.
not wait to learn about this person, and this woman now finds herself, oh, something deposited. There's like a seed, and it's now a part of her, and she can't
Right.
separate herself from it. Understand? A man can separate the emotion from what they want, and just say, hey,
Wow.
cut and go through. Woman can't do the same. There's something that is once sex becomes a part of that relationship, and
Wow.
it changes everything. So, ladies, remember, don't just run into sex.
Wow.
Make
Wow.
sure that you have decided that, listen, this is the man that I want to spend the rest. And even if, God forbid, it don't work out that way, something must have been there that you can hold on to. And a lot of times, there's nothing for you to hold on to but the sex.
My God.
That's what the script. Camille, what's happening here? Miss you, Camille.
What's up? What's
Dr.
up?
Camille.
Yeah.
It's Dr. Camille, you know.
I know, right? Exactly. Hey, Charlene. Morning, morning. So, not
Oh.
the small time. My God. When you talk about the strongholds, then, Natasha, strongholds, you can't move, you can't bend, you can't break, you can't do nothing. My God. The next one is
Hold tight.
jealousy. Jealousy, guys. Excessively possessive, calls constantly or visits unexpectedly, prevents you from going to work or from going to church, from going out with your girlfriends, from you going to shop on your own, from you taking a trip on your own because I'm thinking you're
Run.
going to do that, you're gonna be with somebody else. So yep. So you we don't want to talk about no sex
No,
today.
it's not sex, Camille.
We're talking about how to get out of a toxic relationship, right? So yes, and they're very jealous because every if you move from X to Y, the thing between you moving from X to Y, you're going to find somebody, right? And you may get involved with that person just you moving from X to Y. So they're extremely jealous. Do you think, guys and Chris, that a toxic relationship could be lacking in jealousy too, where the person allows you to go and do whatever you want to do, but then I mean, in some way they try to control you, right? So they may allow you to go out, you go and do whatever you want to do, but when you come back in the house, they may accuse you and that sort of thing. What I mean, do you think it could be of that nature too? Lacking the jealousy is not preventing you from going out, but it's how they treat you in the house.
Obviously, obviously there's a lot of jealousy there. If it is that when you return, it's going to cause conflict and it's going to cause problem, then jealousy. I mean, jealousy, because even the Bible tells you that God is a jealous God. So there is
Right.
a level of jealousy in every one of us. Because I don't want to see my wife in the arms of a man. That you understand? So, because this is my wife, this is my sweetheart, this is my baby, this is my only view and all of that. Yeah. So you don't want to see that. But then there must be that level of trust and respect. And listen to
Right.
this, respect and trust. If you're in a relationship that, yeah, and you see, again, the initial stages of every relationship is the foundation. And if your relationship is built on distrust or mistrust or built on sex, then you're gonna
Right.
find out. Listen, jealousy is what is going to be the order of the day that's going to cause many more issues.
Right.
As a couple, you will have to understand each other to the point where, listen, if, and let me tell you, I hear you read out all the list. Anybody that's going to stop you, separate you from the things that you love, as long as it's not things that are hurting you, separate you from church, separate you from work, separate you from family, separate, it's a cult. I probably want to term it as a relationship cult. You find
Right.
yourself in a little cult because no, this person now can control your very movement, your very, so everything must surround them, and that's very, very toxic. That's very poison.
All right. So Pastor Janelle said, I am too much of a leader or general to be controlled by a lunatic man. Should I make a lunatic man control her? Camille said there is healthy jealousy. And I guess, Camille, yes, there can be healthy jealousy because the Bible says that God is a jealous God, right? So in that case, yes, because as you said it, Chris, you don't want your wife to be up on every man or every man come and want to can touch her and you know that sort of thing. So you probably will feel a way about that, but definitely if it's toxic, then that is gonna be a problem, right? So hold on, people.
Yeah, and I hear Camille say, yeah, enforcing the point, there's healthy jealousy. She's jealous of her hobby. And of course, but that jealousy should not take us to the place where it's either me or nobody else. And that's what we find a lot of times in some relationship where people say, if it's not me, there's nobody else. There's nobody else that you can love like me.
Right,
So the
yes.
minute that you're going to be out of the relationship,
Or
it's
I'm
going to
gonna
be
kill you, I'm gonna kill myself and that sort of thing. And I think that's
exactly.
what happens in a lot of these domestic abusive relationship. Like these men decide before another man gets you, me kill you. And that's what they do, you know?
Run. I
Yeah,
can tell you because you will be killed sooner or later.
yes,
Yeah?
exactly.
Yeah.
What about an intelligent man? Him have any luck? I guess Janelle was talking about. Camille made that comment in reference to the lunatic man. I guess it's the word
but
allow
but you
for
know
me.
what?
Papa Jesus.
But you know what? Um, and that it comes down to individual, but we'll also find out that
Yes, Chris. Chris. All right, so while Chris come back in, guys, I'm going to share the next point. Controlling behavior. So pushing for quick involvement was the first one. Jealousy was the second sign that you're in a toxic relationship. The third one, controlling behavior. Go ahead, Chris.
yeah, I was saying as it relates to Pastor Jenna's point that she's too much of a leader. But you know
Mm-hmm.
what? A lot of people on both sexes, men and male and female,
Mm-hmm.
they are very firm.
Yeah.
They're very firm as a leader. Yeah,
Yeah.
in the corporate world. In the
Mm-hmm.
corporate world, they are very firm. They are known as very strong leaders, and people
Right,
look up
right.
to them and people respect them. But you know
Mm-hmm.
what? You know when they get home, they're in toxic relationships.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of times that happen.
Yes,
So,
yes, and I can tell you, I mean, I
mhm,
consider myself to be a strong person, but let me tell you something. Every strong person has a loophole. Every
mhm,
strong person, there is a loophole, right?
mhm,
And you know what you know what people who are narcissistic do? They
mhm.
find that loophole in you,
And
and
yeah,
they use it
exactly.
to break you down. That's what they do. That's what they do. So yeah. So Janelle said people will be jealous, but you have some person that goes overboard. They're obsessive, and that can be fatal. Very much so, very much so. So guys, remember to click on the share button, share the live as we continue this discussion on identifying the signs of an abusive relationship and what can we do to get out of this relation. These if you find yourself in a toxic one, what can you do? And guys, don't think. Some people think, oh, it's modern time, so ain't nobody saying in no toxic relationship. When I tell you, there are so many people in toxic relationship, and you see since this lockdown, you see since this coronavirus lockdown curfew and all sorts of something, you don't want to know the number of domestic violence cases that have come to fore because of this whole lockdown. Because now people are in their homes, they don't have nowhere to turn, right? And people are being abused. People are being abused in this lockdown, right? And whether we want to accept it or not, it is happening. It is happening. It is for real, right? So yeah. So we have to know how can we get out of it. If I was in a relationship, I would probably be jealous, but there are some early red flags that women overlook because they are lonely and want to show their friends and society that they can be in a relationship, and that's it. A lot of people stay in toxic relationships because they want to show that, listen, I am in a relationship, right? And it's not just merely say that I am in a relationship. If the relationship is toxic, if it is poisoning you, you have to find some way to get out. The next one,
But
controlling behavior. I said that already. Controlling behavior is the next point,
before
Chris.
before you move on,
Yes.
a lot of times is that my device? No, but one of the places that happens a lot, and as a churchman, I'll tell you,
Mm-hmm.
in the church, yeah, you can find a lot of toxic relationships.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about a man in the world or a woman in the world, it's nothing for them to say, but it done, it's over. I move.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, Chris, chip out there. Chris? All right, so let me move on to the next point, controlling behavior. So when there is as you have signs of somebody that's controlling, they interrogate you intensely about whom you talk to, where you were. Um, they keep all the money, insist you ask permission to do anything. Like, that's crazy. How you feel be a big adult in a relationship? Amiel, asking for permission to go and do something, to go somewhere. Permission? Like, seriously? Huh? and people are actually in relationships like that where their partners want to tell them when to talk on the phone, who to talk to, where you can go, when you can go, you have to get permission. It's crazy. Oh my God. It's crazy, people. It's crazy. Yeah, but it's for real. It's for real. It happens, right? Chris, you're back?
I am. No, I was making the point that one of the places that the toxic relationships seem to thrive, which is sad, is in the church.
Yes.
I'm speaking as a person who have been in church more than half of my life. In the world, you'll find that, you know what, if it's not working, if we're the place where we think it's not, I just move on.
Yes.
Yeah. Regardless of how deep we think we're in love. But in the church, because a lot of times we don't want the church to think that we are failed. So, especially when you're married and the relationship becomes sour and it's toxic, and sometimes in the church you are being beaten and so many things.
Chris, you ever go outside by the pool, man? Go by the pool. Go by the pool, Chris. So Janelle is saying, is that person in a real relationship or with their father? Well, that's a question. You have to go by the pool, man. Right? I think a lot of times people can't differentiate between controlled and being submissive. Right? Guys, remember, submission is respect. That's what it is.
My house. I'm gonna go outside.
Yes, put on your shoes and go outside. See if you get a better service. Go by the pool and show. Go by the pool and show these folks the lovely view that you have out there in Providencial. Is how do you call it? The tourism hub of the world. The world. Right? Of the world. It's the tourism mecca. Yeah. All right. So and yes, and we did a program sometime about submission one time, guys, before. We got them old videos. But yeah, you have to understand the difference between submission and being controlled. Remember, submission is respect. And I see where Camille is asking, is it, and I soon got to your point, Yannick, it's not about permission, it's feedback. What do you think, right? Personally, guys, I believe that your relation should be of such that you can say to your partner, honey, I'm going to the store, I'm going to the mall today, or you should, right? You should do that. Good. But what complicates relationship, guys, is when your partner is always accusing you, they're running behind you, they're tracking you down. You see what I'm talking about, guys? Look at the blue sky. Oh my God. Right? So look at it, guys. Oh my God. Don't you all want to
gym that I'm not going? Tonight gym.
I want to take a trip to Provo. Yeah. So yeah. So of course, for me, it's not you don't need to ask your partner permission, right? But you say, honey, I would like to. It's a difference than saying, honey, can I go to... No, I'm not gonna ask the man if I can. No, I'll say, honey, I'm thinking of going to the mall today, right? Or you can be like, if it's something else, like, is that okay with you, right? But it shouldn't be a case where you are seeking permission. Good. Let me see what Yannick says. Hi, Yannick. So Yannick says, once the person start nagging you about other person and not giving you your space, then it's toxic. You can't force a person to love you. Neither can you stop a person from cheating. Exactly so. You can't force them to love you, and you can't
My cousin.
Yeah.
My cousin. Hi, cousin.
Yannick?
Yannick is my cousin.
Okay, Yannick, welcome to the family, right? I was about to touch. Okay. Hey, Dion, how are you? How are you, girl? Right. So, we have to, if the person is controlling and, they're holding back things from you and you have to get permission, that's a toxic relationship, right? You're adults. Nobody should have to, you shouldn't have to be asking, right? Some people just try to be so controlling, like it's crazy, right? Unrealistic expectations is another sign that you're in a toxic relationship, guys. They have unrealistic expectations of you. They expect you to be perfect. They expect that you are going to do all of the work. You're going to be staying home, taking care of the kids, and the house must clean, the dinner must ready, clothes must iron, wash, cook, clean, and do everything. You must be the perfect mate, and still when you're done, you must come in a bed, come lie down and have sex and do all of them something there. That's crazy. And don't think again, guys, it's not only men who create toxic environment in relationships. There are women who do it too. So the man go out, go work, and women they're home for the whole day. But I know we can't manage this one relationship thing, because relationship too complicated. Like let me give up. Relationships can be so complicated, guys, right? But if you're with the right person, you could actually enjoy it. That's what I think. You're with the right person, you could actually enjoy your relationship. Isolation is another big thing. Isolation. Hey, Jacqueline, welcome. Isolation. No, and we don't want you to stay by yourself, because then every man or every woman take. Right? There are good men and there are good women out there who will actually, make you happy. Right? So isolation, Chris. They try to cut you off from your friends and your family. Right? They accuse people who support you of causing trouble in your relationship. I know exactly how that goes. Like you have to cut off your friend them, and if your friend point out something, my God, these people, they are crazy. That's all I have to say. Yeah. And you can't, can you be in a relationship and you have to cut off all your friends and your family? Like, where would you get support from? You need the support from your friends and your family. You need people. People need people. You need your cousins, you need your aunties, you need your uncles, you need your mother, you need your father, you need your brother, you need your sister, you need your best friends, you need your high school mates, right? You need your church family, you need people in your community that you want to talk with, right? So there should be no restriction. Of course, you set your boundaries. You have to set your boundaries, but you don't want anybody to be telling you that I don't want you to talk to that one. Don't let me see you. Don't let me see you talking to that one, or they'll tell you, me not want that
That's
one.
a child.
Lord have mercy.
That's a child. That's what I would tell Chris and Josh. I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to do what you do. You don't go there. You don't do that to an adult. No.
My word. And that's what they do. They actually isolate you, right? Next one. They blame others for the problems or mistakes in the relationship. So something is happening in the relationship. The relationship is bad. Good. And I think I said it earlier this week. And instead of accepting responsibility for the problems in the relationship, right? What they do, they say, oh, it's because of Tom. If you didn't talk to Tom, we wouldn't be having any problems in the relationship. If you didn't talk to your sister, we wouldn't be having any problems in the relationship. That's what they do, right? I'm not going to cut off my family or friends because of a relationship. That person better go, because if that relationship doesn't work out, who do you have to turn to for comfort? Exactly so. And believe me, trust me, because they come in with this whirlwind kind of love, and they're so hot, it is very easy when you get into these toxic relationships to cut off your family, because it's like this person is meeting all of your needs. They're loving on you, they're caring for you, right? And you feel like, oh, it is so cute, he wants me all by himself, man. I just want to spend every waking moment with him, not realizing that what he or she is doing is actually cutting you off.
What's wrong with that?
Huh? Oh, you mean?
What's wrong with?
What do you mean by Chris?
Don't play the devil's advocate. Don't worry. The man wants you all by himself.
Thank you, honey.
He wants you all by yourself. So one day you will end up all by yourself.
Thank you very much. So one day you will end up all by yourself.
And you'll be singing Celine Dion song, all by myself. Don't listen to the voice.
Never know, say no Indian all by myself. I know, right? Oh my
I know
God.
every still Indian.
Mm, mm. Oh boy, I'm telling you, relationships are just fragile and complex. It is. It is. Right? But I want to think relationships are more dynamic than complex, right?
Yeah.
Because you could understand
It
relationships, guys. You could understand it, right? But
relationship relationships is about giving and receiving.
mm-hmm,
Yeah. You have to give
it
of
should be
yourself in
reciprocal.
relationship.
That's it.
It should be reciprocal. But you can't be giving more than but you can't be expecting to receive more than you're willing to give. And that's where a lot of people have problems sometimes. Yeah. You expect one partner, one person to give their life, and all you feel like you need to do is to make sure that the food is cooked, and
Mm-hmm,
that's it. Yeah. And
mm-hmm.
the other person must do everything, put in all because the reality, relationship is hard work. For you to
Yes.
want to live with somebody or to cohabit with somebody that is of a different sex,
Mm-hmm,
we're talking about heterosexual right now. That's of a
mm-hmm.
different sex who have different social background.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about this person is different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for you to live with that person, it takes a renewed mind. You have to
Yes.
change your whole
Mm-hmm.
perception. You have to change
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot of. You
Mm-hmm.
see, like okay, for me, when I got married very young, as a young
Mm-hmm.
man, I did not grow up in a home where people. I didn't know to use knife and fork. I didn't know how to sit and dine around a table with my
Mm-hmm.
wife. My wife grew up in a different environment, yeah, where
Right.
she would sit around the dining table. No, whenever
Mm-hmm.
I get my food, I want to go and sit on the veranda because my complaint is
Wow.
that it's hot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
she was like, no, you don't come and sit around the table. I'm like, woman,
Right.
I'm not hiding from anybody. It's my food. That was always my talk. Yeah.
Why?
And I
Mm-hmm.
want to
Mm-hmm.
go and sit. And it took me a lot and to change to say,
Yes.
listen,
Yes.
okay, why is it now that she's insisting that, hey, we sit
Right.
around the table? When we sit
Mm-hmm.
around the table, we talk.
Right.
Yeah, we talk to
Mm-hmm.
each other. Then we didn't have a child, but we talk to
Mm-hmm.
each other. We communicate. When I gone on the
Yeah.
veranda to sit down all by myself because she ain't gonna join me on no veranda to eating.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you understand? So
Wow.
it takes that level of maturity and
Mm-hmm.
giving
Mm-hmm.
and letting
Yes.
go of some
Yes.
and or
Yes.
unlearning some of the
Mm-hmm.
learned behavior. Because if you don't, then you're going to find out that listen, you're going to be in that relationship frustrated. And
Mm.
if I didn't, as simple as that was, it was important to her. My kids
Right.
don't get to eat on the floor. Some people,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up eating on the floor. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
no dining table, not no. So
Wow.
I get my food. Mommy give me my food. I sit down on the
Mm-hmm.
floor and I eat my food and I enjoy my food. No, my kids
Right.
don't get to do that. They have to
Mm-hmm.
come and join us at the dining table. And again, we strike up
Wow.
a conversation. We talk about things
Yes.
and that because sometimes that's where you actually get to meet with the family. Because sometimes
Right.
you finish
Mm-hmm.
eating, you knock off the phone, you put the phones aside, and you talk.
And
When
you
everybody
talk.
doing their
Yeah.
own thing, so it takes a
Mm-hmm.
lot. It takes a lot. Takes a lot,
Yes.
but you have to
Yes.
get to that place where you
Mm-hmm.
said, listen, what is the important thing of life? And no,
Right.
guess what? I think people laugh at me all the time because I'll be eating bread with knife and fork
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because it just becomes a part of me. Yeah, it
And,
becomes
and
a part of you. It
and of
becomes a
course, Chris,
lifestyle.
it would have taken some amount of patience from your wife
It does.
and you being
Absolutely.
pliable, you being willing to
Exactly.
adjust and learn, right?
Exactly.
And that is
Exactly.
needed, is necessary for relationships to work. Wow.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot,
Yes,
but it can work.
it
It
can.
can
It
work.
can. Mm-hmm.
But you have to be able to put in the work. But
Yes.
I think God, Pastor Janet, be mindful of the red flags.
Mhm.
Some of
Yes.
the red flags, because you know what, we often mention red flags, but
Mm-hmm.
some are not necessarily red, some are orange or
Mm-hmm.
amber.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Some
when
pink
it gets
too.
to
And you have to know the green ones too.
When it gets to green, you need to be out of
Yes,
there.
yes.
Green, you go. But sometimes it's an amber, and you can bring it back. You can fix it. But
Right.
but it takes a lot. But
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
again, you should not be just giving, 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 giving,
Right.
because you'll.
Mm-hmm,
I remember last week or
mm-hmm,
so you were talking about just giving, 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 giving,
mm-hmm.
and the Bible says more blessed to give than to receive. But if you
Right.
just keep giving, giving, giving,
Mm-hmm,
giving, giving, and there's
mm-hmm,
no refueling,
mm-hmm,
because what a lot of people don't realize,
mm-hmm.
that um a relationship can drain you to the point where you're alive but you're dead.
Thank you. Can I tell you about it?
You're
Can I
alive but you're
tell you
dead.
about
Yeah,
it?
yeah. It's
My
so
word.
toxic. It's so poisonous that
Yes,
I mean you're physically alive but
yes.
emotionally dead, and you find yourself doing things that a lot of people, because you know what, sometimes they're looking for fulfillment, they're looking for
Yes.
answers, and
Mm-hmm,
they end up doing stuff that
mm-hmm,
under normal conditions they would not do. They end up with another person, or
mm-hmm,
sometimes even
mm-hmm,
though they are in one relationship, because it's so poisonous. Yeah,
mm-hmm,
they're looking for comfort, they're looking for somebody who is
mm-hmm,
going to be there to change that environment. And what they
mm-hmm,
find out, they end up with two toxic people, and
mm-hmm,
they're still moving on, and they end up with
mm-hmm.
three, and they're in this circle. You
Right,
understand?
right.
And
Mm-hmm.
so it gets so bad. So yeah, it's important that people let go when it's time to let
Yes,
go.
when it's time to let go. Exactly.
Time to let
All
go.
right.
When
So let's move on to the other points, Chris. Blaming other,
Mhm.
okay, making others responsible for his or her feelings. So when you're in a toxic relationship, if you find the person saying, "You make me angry," instead of "I am angry," you're hurting me by not doing what I tell you, then it's ascribing blame. Now, one of the things I've learned, Chris, is when you communicate, is don't communicate using, and you could actually train yourself. And that is why I say, because somebody was in a toxic relationship, it doesn't mean that they will always be in toxic relationship, because there are some
No,
things that make the relationship toxic that you could actually readjust, you could unlearn, as you said earlier, Chris. You could retrain yourself. So one of the things that you can learn is how to communicate with your partner, the things that you say. So instead of saying "you make me angry," say "I am angry, and it is for this reason I'm angry." And Camille always has said, don't wait until you have problems in your marriage to get counseling. You can be happy and still do counseling in your relationship, right? Before, during, and don't wait till the relationship go bad before you get the counseling. And these are things that people need to learn in relationship, how to communicate, because the moment I say "you," I am gonna me oh me I'm gonna get defensive, right? I'm gonna try and defend myself, because now you are ascribing blame to me to say I am the one who did something good. So we have to learn simple communication methods that can actually help to alleviate some of these issues in the relationship, and actually change a relationship too, from being toxic into being healthy, right? So yeah.
mhm.
Hypersensitivity,
Pastor,
we talked about that yesterday. Easily insulted, claiming hurt feelings when he or she is really mad. So if you find that your partner is hypersensitive, they become really sensitive about everything that you do, everything that you say. It could be that you're in a toxic relationship, and you have to, be mindful of that. All right. Let me see. Janelle says, great topic. Love it. I will be on one morning. We'll let you know which one. I'm going to prepare for church. I have fasting service. Bless you all. We'll lift you up in prayer. Thank you so much, Pastor Janelle. Pray for us. Pray for us. Thank you so much. Another thing. So just this morning, Amiel
bless
and
you,
I went
Pastor.
to the store. We went to the store, Chris. And I left him in the car because he didn't take his mask. So I rushed in, came back home, and it was like, "Mommy, you know that those men were sitting over there, and a dog was sitting on the other side, and this man just went and kicked the dog in his face, Mommy, right?"
Evil man.
It's
But you
abusive.
know what?
So, so
But
when you see people cruel to animal, I don't want to share my cruelty to animal story on this live today. Oh my God, I was a child.
that
No
one, that cat.
better.
Don't mention that cat. Don't mention, don't mention that cat for me.
I don't know what
But you
happened
know what?
at all.
But you know what? Sometimes though, that is as a result of something else that is happening on the inside though. Like
Yes.
cruelty to the animal. Because like you just walk up to an animal. I can understand if a dog attack you because if a dog
Thank
attacks
you.
me, I'm not going to just I'm a nice guy, I'm going to allow that dog to bite me. But why
Mm-hmm.
would I see a dog on the roadside and just walk up and kick
And
that
kick
dog?
it.
What is happening
Mm-hmm.
in my head?
Mm-hmm.
Something is happening, which
Mm-hmm.
means it might be a dog today or this morning, but
Mm-hmm.
it might maybe somebody in the house later
Mm-hmm.
because this man sometimes disturbed emotionally
Mm-hmm.
and mentally also. Something is
Mm-hmm.
happening in the brain that causes him to want to express it, to want to get out that anger. Yeah.
Right,
And it's
right.
always critical. Somebody who
Uh-huh.
is hungry getting a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
then look out for serious troubles. Back home,
Right.
we know, and it's universal. Domestic violence, like you mentioned, is especially now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
With COVID and the lockdown, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people not earning, their earning power has fallen. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
persons see all the kids around them, see all
Mm-hmm.
the things that they used to do and could do, all the things that they could
Right,
afford and they can't afford. That brings
right.
that level of anger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
not mindful, if you're not careful, is that
Mm-hmm.
know to communicate because tell you, I am a spender. I know I spend it. Yeah. I'm like this, I will just keep
Mm-hmm.
spending. And if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
conscious, hey, guess what? My salary has reduced significantly. Yeah.
Wow.
No.
Right.
Can I manage to spend like I used to spend February?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Right.
That
Mm-hmm.
level of reduction in salary, yeah, I still have a job. But
Mm-hmm.
that can be taken into your relationship. Because no,
Right,
I'm a
right.
man who is accustomed to have I see that shoe and that shirt, I like nice stuff, I like nice shoe, and I
Mm-hmm.
just buy it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that
Right.
now. Sometimes
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
what might happen is that my wife might look at me and say, then babes, why are you buying that? Don't you realize that you
Mm-hmm.
don't need it? And it can cause me
Mm-hmm.
to get angry without even
Right.
thinking. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? I just get
Mm-hmm.
upset. So what you telling me? It's my money. I work for it. And you find
Mm-hmm.
out that relationship now starts to dwindle. It starts to
Right.
your relationship is being hurt because
Mm-hmm.
of that
Mm-hmm.
level of anger that is up inside. So
Yes. Mm-hmm.
importantly, look for that sign. Anger is critical.
Mm-hmm.
When you see it coming,
Yes.
hmm,
Mm-hmm. You have
if
to
you
deal
can't
with
reach
it.
that person, and,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and don't force the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And say, one of the Jamaican women, they say if the man don't beat them, they
Mm-hmm.
don't love them.
That is a
Uh,
lie
If
from
I
the
don't
pit
get
of hell. My God.
if I don't get some lick and sticks,
Mm-hmm.
the man,
Mm-hmm.
and it's something
Mm-hmm.
that is it's something that we adopt from probably our slave masters. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's in our
Exactly.
psyche that you have to be beaten.
Mm-hmm.
Can I tell you, Tommy? Chris is not listening right now. I'm sure she's not. She's in school. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't beat her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't want my child become comfortable with knowing that,
Mm-hmm.
hey, guess what? She has to be
Mm-hmm.
whipped
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to know that this is wrong or right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe in that type of discipline.
Whoa.
I must
Mm-hmm.
be able to, and it's the same thing in your relationship. Why you
Mm-hmm.
think that you have to top out the woman high for her to stop the
Mm-hmm.
bun? You thump her the high, she gonna fall in the hands of somebody else because she no feeling threatened.
Mm-hmm.
So she want comfort. So you might think that you're holding on to this person. And
Mm-hmm.
woman, you're smart. You're God. You're God's precious gift. Why you think
Right.
that somebody must put their hand on you to express
Mm-hmm.
love? That's a lie from the
Whoa.
pit of hell. Yeah.
From the pit
So
of hell.
anger is very, very important. Yeah.
Yes.
No. No.
Mm.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Whoa.
If some people believe
Use
in
of force. Uh-huh. Go ahead, Chris.
no, I'm saying some people believe in hey, guess what? I must beat the child. Okay, that's your thing. But guess what? If
Mm-hmm.
you continue to do that, then you're telling this child that listen, if they're not whipped, and
Yeah.
that's come from the mentality. that guess
Yep.
what? In order for a slave to stay in line, they have to be
To
whipped.
be
We
with.
don't have to do that.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah,
And
you
I'm
must be able
telling
to
you,
communicate.
it
You
is
must
something that
be
I
able to
struggled
talk.
with, and I had to get to the point where I said, no, I can't do this. Like I would spank Amiel, right?
No.
And I had to get to the
Hmm.
point where like absolutely not. And I tell you, a lot of parents who do that kind of thing, they have other issues dealing with. And you have
Exactly.
to learn to
Anger.
deal with other issues because I know I had other issues. I was dealing with the divorce, the frustration, the hurt,
Hmm.
the pain, from the relationship, and I was frustrated. I'm not gonna tell no lie.
Right.
I was frustrated,
Hmm.
right? And you get a couple slaps.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So and I'm telling you, that is something I would discourage. Don't do it. Don't do it. Right? And as you said, it comes from your parents, and what you even experienced as a child. And if you do that, what you are doing is gonna continue this whole generation of abuse. That's what you're gonna do.
Exactly.
Right? And it has to be
Exactly.
broken. It has to be broken. Right? So yeah,
So true.
yeah. All right. So the next sign, guys, is use of force during sex. That is a sign that the relationship is toxic. Um, they enjoy throwing you down or holding you down against your will. During sex, they feel like say, boy, them just it's like it's rape. Like them have to hold you down and take it. That's a sign that your partner is abusive. Whether I don't know if women hold on man and take it too. Chris, you can tell me. But that's a sign, right? Verbal abuse is another one. Constantly criticizes or says blatantly cruel, hurtful things, degrades, curses, calls you ugly names. That's another sign there. Rigid roles. And I want us to just spend a little bit of time on this. Rigid roles, right? Where they believe that, okay, you are the woman, so you must do this, you must cook, you must clean. I'm not doing any cooking, I'm not doing any cleaning. You have to take care of the kids, right? I'm not changing the diapers. That's a woman's role. I'll go out and make the money and come back in. I'm not pressing no clothes, I'm not cook no food, all of those things. Those are the kind of rigid roles that they maintain. That could be a sign that you are in an abusive relationship, right? So the mood swings. So this moment they're happy, the next moment they are sad, or they're depressed and them stressed out for no reason at all. Lord have mercy. Mm. Sudden
Yeah.
mood swings. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the rigid rules,
Mm-hmm.
the sex, prove trying to kill the person.
Mm-hmm.
Again, let me start with the sex. Is it that you're in a war?
Mm.
Are you at war with this person?
Mm-hmm.
Because sex should be something that you're both enjoying, right? No.
Exactly.
Why
Exactly.
are you trying to kill somebody?
Mm.
Because why you want to? It should be that where it's like you're killing her, or most times it's the man. Why is it that you want to kill her? For what reason?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm.
and if you both are not enjoying this, because you know what, I can tell you this: if the woman is not enjoying it, yeah, she's probably going
Mm-hmm.
to be. Some women are going to be submissive and they're just going to be there, but you're not enjoying it either, because
Mm-mm.
if all you want to do is just pop off, then
Mm-hmm.
it's not worth it. You understand?
Right.
So as a man, you must position yourself. Hey, guess what? You know what? You must enjoy this moment.
Mm-hmm.
This, if you love somebody, you want to enjoy everything together, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
closest you'll ever get is
Right.
when you're having sex,
Mm-hmm.
and that time should be special. So that time should be memorable, not something that when she pray to God and right there because a lot of women are having sex and are praying that they die or he dies in the
Oh
act.
God.
She's
Mm-mm.
praying that she dies, that she don't have to endure this another
Mm-hmm.
time. Or she's praying that he dies, that he won't get to do this another time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's so bad. Yeah,
Wow.
if you're not enjoying the moment, it's not worth
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
And the rigid rules, my
Mm-hmm.
God, again, you know what? And this has to do, even though some women, um, tend to want to. I don't. Some women in some cases can also
Mhm.
be blamed. But I have said this
Mhm.
before. I'm not sure if it's here. I
Mhm.
remember I always say this. I have never asked God for a helper because I can't afford a helper. I
Right.
asked God for a wife.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
brothers, what you have in your house, if you want a helper, employ one.
Mhm.
If
Mhm.
your wife, remember, just like you go out to work and you're tired, yeah?
Mhm.
Because I remember back in the day, I had a job where every day me come home me tired.
Tired. Not
Yeah?
true.
And
Mm.
my wife, and one of the things that probably has to do with how I treat my wife in that regard.
Mhm.
I have a friend of mine always say I spoil my wife, but that's
Mhm.
okay. She's
Mhm.
my wife, and I'm the one to spoil her. Um,
Right.
but I always say, you know what? If I come home tired,
Uh-huh.
yeah, she's also tired.
Exactly.
She is also tired, and she's human being just like I am.
Mhm.
So guess what? She don't need to tell me that, babes. You know what? I'm so tired. Can you make dinner? No,
Mhm.
I'm going to make dinner. If I reach home before her, when she come
Yeah.
home, our dinner is going to be cooked
Dinner
or
is
it's
made.
not.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And then religiously, one of the things that I used to do, you see, because I never, there was a time when I was away. Yeah. So
Mhm.
though I was in Jamaica and she was in Jamaica, but we were, because of my job at the time, I was
Mhm.
away. And I come home on weekends. Guess what? As she's gonna cook Sunday because you know
Mhm.
wife have to cook Sunday because we can't cook so good. But
Right.
every Saturday morning, I'm gonna wake up long before her, and when she wake up, she loves my fried dumpling. And every Friday morning, I'm gonna make fried dumpling and whatever she wants with it because she
Mhm.
loves when I do it. Yeah, and not only that, to make it, I'm gonna take it to her in bed.
Mhm. That's
I'm gonna
right.
take it to her in bed and make her feel, and I'm
Right.
gonna put some fruits around it, and I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna cut it up, and I'm gonna make
Yeah.
her feel special. Because you know what?
Uh-huh.
She's my wife, she's my girl,
Mhm.
she's my girlfriend, she's everything. And
Right.
so if it is that,
That's
and guess
amazing.
what? Yeah, that's my Maisie and my baby.
Yeah.
She she the clothes is supposed to go in the machine. Mind you, I don't like wash with my
Uh-huh.
hand. I don't
Uh-huh.
like the hand washing part, so she's gonna
Mhm.
do it. But I'm not gonna
Mhm.
be there and have all the dirty clothes in the house and the machine.
Mhm.
What it takes me to put the clothes in the machine?
Mhm.
Nothing. All it's
Just
gonna take
go.
me, put it in the
Mhm.
machine, put in the detergent, put it on the line, take it up. The ones
Mhm.
that she wants to wash with her hand, God knows I'm not gonna touch it because I don't like
Right.
washing it. And she knows that. I know
Like,
she,
take them off
yeah,
though. But you don't like washing it, eh?
I don't.
Huh?
No, 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 no. I'm not talking about necessarily underwear though, no. No, no, no. No, I'm not talking about underwear, no. I'm literally I
Oh,
don't like washing with my hand. Because it
okay,
a white
okay.
stuff
Yes.
or white no, under yeah, like anything at all that you have to wash with your hand. I don't
Mhm.
like doing it. But if I have to, I will do it. But guess
Uh-huh.
what? I will clean the entire day. So she come and say I
Right.
was gonna come and see a clean house. I
Mhm.
had a job where I was home for 7 months going to work at
Mhm.
5 o'clock in the evening. Guess what?
Mhm.
She's gone to work in the morning.
Mhm.
My son, I was babysitting my son. I said, I don't want to babysit. I want to spend that time with my son. I'm the one that's going to change the
Right.
diaper. I'm going,
Right.
even though sometimes I'm there sleeping and he's creeping out. That's another
Mhm.
story for another day.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I enjoy that moment. And when I
Right.
come home,
Right.
I,
Uh-huh.
I thought, Lena, how are you doing?
Yeah. Hey, Lady
Yeah.
John.
And it's important. Enjoy it. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy your family.
Mhm.
Enjoy don't see a woman or see your wife or your girlfriend as an
Mhm.
helper. If she wanted to
Right.
be an helper, then she would be
Mhm.
an help. The Bible says she's a helpmeet. Be there for each other.
Exactly.
Just like you're tired,
Exactly.
brother. He's
Mhm.
tired. Bro, cook
Mhm.
man. Sometimes in the brothers. You can and I'm
Mhm.
speaking to the brothers. Sometimes
Mhm.
you're not the greatest cook, because
Right.
but you know what,
Exactly.
she appreciates it. And she will come and she will say, "Babe, so, all right,
Yeah.
cook this."
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, and do this. And you find out,
Mhm.
guess what? It helps build your relationship because
Yes.
instead of you cooking, you find out you're
Mhm.
cooking together. You start it,
Exactly.
and she
Mhm.
know you're gonna spoil it because I've spoiled a
Mhm.
few,
Mhm.
and she know I'm
Mhm.
gonna always start the thing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
you find out your relationship, and sometimes, believe me, if the kids are
Mhm.
not there, the kitchen
Mhm.
can be sweet also. But that's another story for another day.
Hold on, okay,
Yeah,
so
so
wait until it comes on.
you have to enjoy it.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
So Tatlin says, I have the best husband. Him not perfect, but him are the
But
best.
he's the absolute.
Exactly.
And you know what
Exactly.
also, as a man also, a lot of times, and I'm not saying Tatlin don't do that, but
Mhm.
the man needs to know that also.
Yes. Yes.
The man needs to know that. You need to
Mhm.
tell him that, you know what?
Mhm.
I love how you do this, and I love how when I come home, the house clean, and
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I love that encounter. You had sex and you enjoy. Let the man
Yes.
know.
Yes.
Let
Yes.
him know that listen, I appreciate this,
Yes.
and let him know, hey, I appreciate
Mhm.
you as a husband, and I
Mhm.
love how you do this. I love how you take care of the children. I
Mhm.
love how when I'm not there and when I can't do this, and I
Yes.
love how you encourage me.
Mhm.
Because you know what,
Mhm. Mhm.
I tell myself this, and sometimes when I talk about this, I get personal. So forgive me,
Mhm. Mhm.
but I
Mhm.
always say this: I must be my wife's number one fan. I must be
Yes.
her number one cheerleader. I must, whenever
Exactly.
she endeavor to do
Exactly.
something, I
Mhm.
must be the one that is going to be there to stand with her. Sometimes
Yes.
she's gonna fail, but
Mhm.
even when she fails, I must be there to say, baby, you know what? It was a good try. And
Yes.
th-
Yes.
what did you think about trying it this time, this
Yes.
way?
Exactly.
But you have
Exactly.
to be there. And that's how you build a relationship.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
build that
Mhm.
because she has been there for me. You know
Mhm.
what? She has been there for me. She has been that one
Right.
that supports me through everything. And
Mhm.
when I
Mhm.
couldn't see the way, and when things were really rough, she was the
Right.
one
Mhm.
who for some reason, hope against hope.
Yes.
She,
Yes.
she could still see down the road. She could
Mhm.
still see that,
Mhm.
listen, future can be better if you try
Exactly.
something. And that's important. You got to
Yes.
find that person. And if
But
you're not getting that support, it means
yes.
that
And
your
look here,
relationship is probably
when we
toxic.
define toxic relationship, that's what it said. There is no support. It's
It's critical.
toxic relationship lacks support. And it's
Mm-hmm.
important that you even mentioned that. And I said it to somebody this week. You can't be in a relationship and your partner not support you.
No,
How?
no, no.
You are struggling. I mean, you're in a long-standing relationship. You are struggling and your partner is okay. You guys, you should come together and see how you can make life better for the two of you. But it shouldn't be okay
Absolutely.
if the one side has struggle and you over here so life are going good for you. No. The aim is
No,
that you
no.
should be supporting each other, helping each other to grow and to become better individuals.
It's a
Wow.
partnership.
It's a
It's
partnership.
a
It is
it's
a
a
partnership,
partnership. And
right?
you see, and it's not just reserved for married people. Even if
Mm-hmm.
you're not married, because it's a relationship. A
Yes.
relationship on every level. So if you just live with somebody and this person is your boyfriend, or you call them partner, boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend, whatever you call them, guess what? It might get to the level of marriage, and a lot of people don't get to that level because they're yet to understand each other. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
understanding the dynamics of the
Right.
other person, and
Yes.
understanding the needs of another person.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows what they need. Everybody knows what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the
Mm-hmm.
easiest part in life. But to understand the needs of your partner is very, very important. And a couple weeks ago, I know you spoke on the love language. That's
Mm-hmm.
important to know your partner's love language. What
Yes.
click them? What
Yes.
caused them to be positive? What caused them to want to go forward?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that caused them to want to they feel that they can take on the world? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Mm-hmm.
feel like, hey, I want to go forward in this relationship. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't know that, then you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have problems. So it's
Mm-hmm.
important, and all of that only come through communication and
Right. Right.
understanding each other, which
Mm-hmm.
means that sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna fail. Sometimes things are not going to go the way you planned it,
Right.
which
Right.
means that sometimes the relationship might have challenges, but it
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
comes back to how much you can relate to each other, how much you
Right.
can
Mm-hmm.
open, talk
Mm-hmm.
about everything. Talk
Mm-hmm.
about it. Talk about it. And that's the important thing. Talking about it. Talking about, hey, guess what, baby? You know, I messed up and I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. And this I find key tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't say you are sorry in your relationship, it
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
never can work. The
Never.
key
Never.
words, two key
Yeah.
word, I am
Mm-hmm.
sorry.
I am
If
sorry.
you are,
Yeah.
I am sorry, that's powerful in a relationship. And guess what?
Mm-hmm.
The Bible says that, listen, even God forget your sin, and
Mm-hmm.
God put it in the sea of forgetfulness. If it
Mm-hmm.
is that you're going to
Mm-hmm.
use that as a stick to
Mm-hmm.
hammer the person every
Yes.
time, oh, I
Yes.
remember 10 years
Mm-hmm.
ago when you did
Yes.
this, and you had that, and you do this. then
Mm-hmm.
guess what?
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna
Yeah.
work out because
Yeah.
that residue, shake it
Yes.
off. The
Shake it off.
residue must go
Yes.
also. God forget
Mm-hmm.
it. So if you are man and we
Mm-hmm.
are just man and God forget it, then we have to
Mm-hmm.
forget it.
So
Literally, you might not
you
forget
know
it.
what, Chris? What you're actually doing here is helping the viewers and myself to understand that a relationship could be in in a place where it can become toxic, but
Hmm.
with the necessary adjustments,
Absolutely critical.
you can
Mentally, you have to
turn
be
that
again.
relationship around.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
relationship doesn't have to, because it is toxic, doesn't mean that it must end toxic, because you can
No,
get
it
poison.
doesn't.
People get fish poison, yeah. People get food poisoning and
Let's
all
get
sorts
some
of
busy.
poison. Some people
Let's get
get
some busy.
poisoned by rat poison them, and them get healing and recovery, right? Them go
Yeah,
hospital and them get treated and so on.
yeah.
And
It can be.
similarly, a toxic relationship can recover.
It
So,
can
so
recover. It
we
can
are
recover.
how
It's
to
hard
get
work though.
out of a toxic relationship. The getting out doesn't necessarily mean that you are severing ties with your partner. It means
Absolutely.
that both of you see how we look at the yam head situation the other day, guys. I listen, that's one of the things I love about this program, Chris. That we use the bad situation and we turn them
Mhm.
around to make them good. And when we talk about yam head, and everybody I call everybody yam head, we say no, it's not just merely about you being a yam head, because you know what? Yam head is what they plant. That is
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
get new growth from. That is what you're gonna get yam from later on in a couple months. You'll dig up your yam head in the yam hill, and that is what will grow. Similarly, guys, when we look at this whole toxic, being in a toxic relationship, you can actually you can get out of a toxic relationship without leaving a toxic. I love that. I really love this twist.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. I
Mm,
love it. Because you
yeah,
know what? Every relationship has the potential to be toxic. The
yeah.
moment
Everyone, every single one.
it has the
But
potential to become toxic.
but
Mm,
you know what also? I
yes.
have I've known of people. Well, I don't know of any that I have encountered, but I've known of persons who have had relationships, and
Mm-hmm,
time passed. It fell along the way, and
mm-hmm,
time passed, and they get back together. And I'm talking
right.
about marriage.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, and they even get back to the state where they get married. It means
mm-hmm,
then for that to happen,
mm-hmm.
and they're thriving. It means then that somebody somewhere along the line realized that, listen, I was not sowing the seeds that was building a relationship. I was sowing seed that was breaking a relationship. And the first, you see, it's important that you assess you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Important that you look
Yeah.
into you. And you
Mm-hmm.
always say, in no relationship, no one person contribute to the failure.
Nope.
Both
Nope.
persons have done
Yes.
something or said something. Because you
Yes.
know what? It may have been that I said something, and from that one thing I said, you escalate it, and you
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
so both of you now become um, contributors. So
Yes.
I mean, but it is toxic, but it
Mm-hmm.
can come back together if you are willing to put in the work. Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yes.
then, even the same breath, you
Mm-hmm.
must be mindful. If it is you alone putting in the work, it's not going
Yes.
to be.
Not gonna work.
It has
It's
to
not
be
gonna work.
a mutual
It's
thing.
going to
It
be
must be
collaborative
reciprocal.
effort.
Exactly. You must be doing this together. You
Mm-hmm.
must be working
Mm-hmm.
together. You
Mm-hmm.
both must want this. You
Mm-hmm.
both must need this. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
and again, people use sex, and
Mm-hmm.
people sometimes sex is like the word I'm looking for. It's just maybe they were with a partner and they had great sex, but that was the only thing that was going for the
Mm-hmm.
relationship. So they
Mm-hmm.
want that type of sex because they find
Right.
themselves in a relationship. That the
Mm-hmm.
sex is not so hot, but
Mm-hmm.
everything else is. So they want to get back with this person for the sex, and if that's
Mm-hmm.
the only thing that is keeping the marriage together
Mm-hmm.
or keeping the relationship together, brother,
Right.
let me tell you something. You're going
Mm.
to get to a time when the sex is not going to be so hot.
My God.
You're going to
Mm.
get to a time when nature is gonna take its course,
Yes.
and guess
And
what?
everything will go down. Gravity will take over.
Nature will take over. It's reality. What do you do when you get to 60 and
Right,
65
right.
and nature has
Yes.
taken its course
Mm-hmm.
and there was no bond? There
Mm-hmm.
was no, because you're going through the motions now because
Mm-hmm.
you're energetic, man, and you're doing it and you're going and you like the sex, but everything else was miserable and sad. But what happened when nature started to take the course? Are you going to cut each other's neck? Are you going to walk out at that time when already if you're going to walk out at a relationship at that time
Mm-hmm.
after spending 20 30 years in there, you're going to have
Mm-hmm.
serious issues. What
Mm-hmm.
is it that you stand to lose?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you're going to lose a
Mm-hmm.
lot more than
Wow.
if you make a decision now to work on it, because we're not about
Mm-hmm.
telling you to get out of your relationship. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're about telling you that, listen, you know what, if
Mm-hmm.
you see where it's too toxic and it cannot
Right.
work, if it's
Right.
draining you
Yes.
emotionally and you have done
Mm-hmm.
everything, try to get the help
Mm-hmm.
and it's not working out, then you have to
Right.
make a decision. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and we support your decision, but we're saying
Mm-hmm.
get help. Get
Mm-hmm.
help.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it at?
The help.
Sometimes,
Get the help.
and that's why I talk about the church, because I'm a
Mm-hmm.
church man. Sometimes in
Right.
church, it is happening in the church so often where nobody
Mm-hmm.
wants to, like, I hear one pastor, I think it was TD Jakes preaching and saying, when Jesus was on earth, church
Mm-hmm.
is the only place that nobody wants to see failure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's where you should be if you failed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
if it is that it is failing, get
Mm-hmm.
help. Talk to
Yes.
somebody.
Yes.
Find out, because professional help is good, but sometimes what
Yeah.
you can get help from just a
Mm-hmm.
friend or
Yes. Mm-hmm.
somebody who have been there, somebody
Mm-hmm.
who have experienced what you're experiencing, somebody who
Right.
have gone through this and gotten out
Mm-hmm.
of it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
talk to
Mm-hmm.
somebody. Don't just keep it there and say, boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking to some church people right now. Us.
Mm-hmm.
Don't keep it there and say, boy, oh, I don't want anybody just to talk about us and talk
Mm-hmm.
about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pray about it. Pray. I agree with prayer
Yeah. Oh,
200%.
thank you
But
very much.
faith without
Yes.
work is dead.
It's dead. Exactly.
When you
Exactly,
finish
Chris.
praying, get up and do the work.
Mm-hmm.
Get up
Mm-hmm.
and get the help.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going
Yes.
to see AIDS, a woman inflicted with AIDS, or a man, and
And
go have sex with them and then go and pray and say, oh, God, heal me?
thank you.
You're
Go
gonna
and
be
pray
dead.
about it.
And we're gonna say,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
what you
Exactly.
need to do.
Exactly.
Get up, do what you need to do, man. Get up,
Mm-hmm.
do what you need to do. Get help when
Mm-hmm.
you can get help. Talk to somebody, yeah, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you can make it work. You can make it work.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Mm.
yeah.
Mm. Wow.
So
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I
Guys,
think,
we are looking today at how to get out of a toxic relationship. And we have really taken a twist with this getting out of toxic relationship. Say, listen, your relationship can be toxic, but it could be that it's things that you are doing that's
yeah.
making your relationship toxic. You are not supporting your partner. What can you
Mm-hmm,
do now to become more supportive of your partner?
mm-hmm,
Right? You're not giving your partner the love that your partner deserves. What can you do now to make sure that your partner gets the love and make sure that you guys work together to build
mm-hmm,
the relationship, right? So
mm-hmm.
push come to shove, guys, and it means that nothing that you try works. Then that's when you have to make a decision that you have to get out, out, out of that
Yeah.
relationship. You
Don't wait
can't.
until it kills you.
Don't wait until it
Don't
kills
wait
you.
until it kills you.
Don't become a
Don't
statistic.
get,
Yeah.
yeah,
Don't become one
yeah.
of the stats. So you have to ensure. Hey, Mr. Owens, how are you? Good morning. Good morning. Blessings. Don't become one of the stats. Good.
No,
Seek help. And you talk about just not merely you supporting your partner, but you have to have a supportive community also
yeah,
that
yeah.
will help you
Critical.
to provide the guidance and give the support that you need. You need that. Good. So end
And
of the day, the partner has isolated you. You have to take a stand to say, listen, you're not gonna isolate me. I have to maintain my friends. And if the person insists that you stay isolated, that's when you need to pack up. That's when you need to pack up and go. Right? Because no man is an island, no man stands alone.
one last thing, Tommy.
Yes.
Also, it's important, like Tommy says, to have that support group. But for
Yes.
heaven's sake, let's say, show me your company, I tell you who you
Yes.
are. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Don't surround yourself with people who are broken,
Wow.
who are negative,
Yes.
who is gonna tell you everything that the person
Uh-huh.
is doing wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and they can't say anything positive. Surround
Yes.
yourself and
Mm-hmm.
surround yourself with people who are reasonable, who are gonna
Mm-hmm.
look at you and say, Tamara, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? You know what? Maybe you should try this. And when you do
Yes.
something well, it's gonna praise you and say, you know what? Good job. And
Yes.
I
Yes.
like what you did. And I like
Mm-hmm.
and I see your relationship making a
Mm-hmm.
positive turn. The person are
Yes.
gonna applaud that effort. Don't just look
Mm-hmm.
for the people who are going to say, oh, the wicked dirty man and
Mm-hmm.
in that
Mm-hmm.
stop garden man, yeah, the woman yard. Because
Yes.
no, we
Mm.
have seen it. Maybe the man have a weakness, maybe the man and it
Yes.
can be worked
Yes.
on. Don't just give up
Yes.
and
Mm.
because you know what? He might have a weakness or she might have
Yes.
a weakness, but you
Yes.
also have a weakness.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you're going to
Mm-hmm.
look for people,
Mm-hmm.
surround yourself with those people who are going to, when you make positive strides, commend you and say, you know
Yes.
what, good job, man. I like the
Mm-hmm.
new move. I like the improvement. And when you do
Yes.
positive things, I see you growing. I see
Yes.
you have made a turn for the better. Don't
Mm-hmm.
just like the man
Mm-hmm.
that I just wanna, and some people themselves are toxic and they
Yes.
put that toxic energy into you because
Yes.
you are
Exactly.
broken and
Yes.
you are like sponge, so you suck up
Mhm.
everything. And
Yes.
when you
Yes.
find out you're sucking up everything, then when
Mm-hmm.
you start to squeeze out, you go home and start squeezing out. And,
Mm-hmm.
and they can tell you, hey, the poor man just stop at the shop to
Uh-huh.
buy um a tablet because he wasn't feeling well. But because you know that there's a girl there that he used
Mm-hmm.
to, you're gonna tell and cause a problem. Stop it, people. Maybe the
Mm-hmm.
man just wanted a tablet. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
coincidence that the girl was there. The man have nothing to do with the girl. And some
Right.
people just
Right.
run with news. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Sure, the man was
Mm-hmm.
there. What was the man motive? The man probably don't just say hi and bye. But you weren't
Mm-hmm.
gonna tell the man, girl,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I see the man, and guess who I
Yeah.
see him with? And then you
Yes.
create in a toxic
Trouble.
environment
Trouble. Mm.
trouble.
Some
So
people
it's
are just
important.
trouble. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
support people. Your
Yes.
support group must be
Mm.
one that is going to be there to say to
Yes.
you, you know what, try this.
Well.
What do you think about this? And it's
Yes.
going to get to the point where you're going to say, try and
Mm-hmm.
look at it from this perspective. Because one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that we make is that we think that my way or the highway. Yet I must, if I say it's orange, it's always orange.
Mm-hmm.
I am
Mm-hmm.
one of those guys. I tell you that I am one
Mm-hmm.
of those guys. And I've
Wow.
learned over the years that,
Yes.
listen, guess what? Because
Mm-hmm.
I think it's orange, it's not necessarily orange. There's a dash of red somewhere. Yeah? And but
Mm-hmm.
it takes somebody else to show you that. And that's why I believe that God, when God created man, he didn't just say, man, take over and just run the world. And he
Mm-hmm.
realized that, listen, men, and we can't do it all by ourselves.
Right. Right.
And that goes for women also. You
Mm-hmm.
can't do
Mm-hmm.
everything all by yourself. You need a support group. You need
Mm-hmm.
a community that's going to
Right.
help you to fulfill your potential.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
Mm-hmm.
us are where we are today because you know
Mm-hmm.
what? There is
Mm-hmm.
that maybe it's mommy, maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
daddy, maybe it's a
Mm-hmm.
big sister, big brother, maybe it's a
Mm-hmm.
stranger that
Yes.
saw that there's
Mm-hmm.
something inside of this young man
Mm-hmm.
that can be unhurt, and he just needs
Yes.
a support group. He just needs somebody
Yes.
to
Yes.
to tell to put positivity
Mm-hmm.
into him to
Mm-hmm.
tell him that you can achieve this, you can
Yes.
do this, and if you
Yes.
do that, you
Mm-hmm.
be in your relationship, and not
Mm-hmm.
just your relationship, in other person's relationship.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I have had friends tomorrow where say, I'm getting out of my relationship, I'm done
Right.
with it, done with it,
Mm-hmm.
and my advice, and I always say this to all my friends, whoever, I will never tell you to get out of your relationship. That's always
Mm-hmm.
going to be your decision. As I always
Mm-hmm.
said, me and
Mm-hmm.
Macy going on
But is that a bad
18
thing though,
years.
Chris? Because if you see said the man about to kill the woman, you're
No,
not
no,
gonna
in that case, run. Run. You get to that point, run.
Oh.
If
Okay.
anything like that is going to come into play, run. I would
Right.
say to you, run. You must be smart enough.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
I rather you make that decision.
Right.
Yeah? I
Right.
rather you make that decision rather. But as a friend, I'm gonna say you're gonna sit and allow the man to kill you. But you
Mm-hmm.
must make that decision. But I'll
Yeah.
say to them, listen, do all that you can to work on your relationship.
Right.
But there
Right.
comes a time when you can't do anything else
Right.
because it was not. it's just not for you. You're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna see eye to eye, and you have to get to that place when you realize that the eye to eye, we're not gonna see eye to eye. One of us gonna
Right,
kill each
right.
other. Don't
Wow.
wait until the police and the mark turn up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's going
Mm.
to be painful, and you might
Wow.
be the one dead, or you might
Mm-hmm.
be the one in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you can make the move, if that is the case, and it's not
Right.
working, you have tried everything. You have got
Mm-hmm.
all
Mm-hmm.
the support group. You have
Yeah.
done counseling, and
Mm-hmm.
you realize that listen, one of us is gonna be dead.
Right.
Run,
You have to run. You have to
run,
run.
run.
Wow.
Come out of it.
Wow.
Come out of it.
And
And even if
and
you're
you
a
know,
church person, and even if you're
ah,
a church person, because the hardest person to come out of it tomorrow is a church
mhm,
person.
church
And
person.
that's what the point I wanted to make earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Because we feel like we are betraying the church.
Yes.
We feel
Yes.
like we are betraying God. We feel
Mm-hmm.
like, what people, and especially, you see, especially when you're in leadership role in the church, if
Yes.
you're
Yes.
just a brother sitting at the back bench and nobody sees you, but if
Mm-hmm.
you're one that is at the front and everybody looks up to you, you feel
Yes.
it, and you're one. Because you know what? God forbid, but if tomorrow morning I find out, man, Maisie is going to kill one another,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make a decision. I say, babes, you know
Yeah.
what? It's not going to
Make
work out.
separate
One
ways.
of us
Yeah.
have to go.
Mm-hmm.
Is it gonna hurt? Does it mean I might have to take a back seat in church?
Yes.
Does it
Mm-hmm.
mean that I have to shut up
But
and
that's it.
for a while and go
Yes.
fix myself? But you gotta
Yes.
do that.
You have to do what you
You
have to
understand?
do.
You have
My
to do it.
God. My
You have
God.
to do it
Mm.
to make it better.
Mm.
You have to do it because it's
Yes.
a season
Yes.
you go through.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
you go
Hey,
through that
Pastor
season.
Hamilton, morning.
Yeah, you go
Mm.
through that season where
Mm.
sometimes that season mean that you just need to go refuel. You need to
Yes.
go on burner. And
Yes.
I often talk to you about your past. There was a time
Mm.
when you would not be on this live. It took a
Mm-mm.
while for you to come
Mm-mm.
back.
Yeah.
But if you did not
Mm.
make a decision that, listen,
Mm.
things was not how I wanted it to be or it
Yes.
should be,
Yes.
and then
Mm.
you sometimes have to go like one prophet going to a juniper tree. You're
Yeah,
there
man.
where
You
it's a
have to go
lonely
into
place.
retreat. You have to take a cave.
Yeah,
Yes.
time out. You have to
Yeah.
take time out. Come off
Mm.
the scene, come off
Yeah.
social media. And that's important. One of the things that a lot of people do. We're talking so long this morning, Tommy. You're not
We
working
have
today.
5 minutes. 5 minutes to go. Because guess what? I'm actually going to work today, but it's at 1 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you know what? One of the things a lot of people do, and this is the biggest mistake that
Yes.
people make.
Mm.
Social media can be an evil place.
Can I
Yeah,
tell you
having
about it?
issues.
Can
Yeah,
I tell you about social media? Can I tell?
listen.
Listen,
One of the
let me
things that
tell
you
you,
will learn
as
from.
much as you see me on social media, I don't put everything on social media.
No,
I'm
you cannot.
telling you that.
Look
And
here,
I
Tommy.
have learned to control the content,
Exactly.
right? That I
Exactly.
put on social
One
media. Trust me. Yeah,
one of the
man.
things that you will see when me and Maisie go to this hotel and we had a good time. You'll
Yeah.
never see when we quarrel on social media.
Thank you very much. Thank you
That's
very
not
much.
for you.
I'm telling you, if you see, a lot of people, they don't know that when they do that kind of thing, they're actually creating more damage for themselves
Exactly.
than
Exactly.
you are trying to help you. Because let me tell you
Exactly.
something, people. You see, and I said it sometime this week. Social media will build you up. It will
Mm.
build you up, Chris. And the same people that will build you up is the same people that
And
come
and you
tear
know
you
what? And I don't think it builds, you know.
down. Huh?
And I wouldn't use the word build. I would say hype.
The hype, that's it. They will
Hype
hype you
you
up,
up.
and
Hype
then
you up.
and
Mm.
I saw two incidents of that on social media this week. The same people that will hype you up is the same people tear
Oh
you
Jesus.
right down to the ground, and they're not just
Don't put your life
tear
out
you
there.
down. They're gonna stamp you. They're gonna use their feet and they're gonna stamp you and they're gonna stamp you until there's nothing more left of you. So you have to be
No.
careful. You have to be careful, guys. You have
Don't
to
put
be
your
careful.
life out there. So
Man, so you
and if
have to
already it's out there,
don't wash your dirty linens in public. Don't wash it in.
exactly. And if already it's out there, because I know some persons have it out there, and it might
Yeah.
not be persons right now listening to us, but
Mhm,
some person might hear this later. If it's
mhm,
out there already about your
mhm.
relationship, there's an
Yes.
edit button that you can delete.
Thank you.
Some of
Thank
it is
you.
but delete it,
Mhm,
because
mhm,
what you're
mhm.
doing, it's like, like in the spiritual realm, you're calling on demons because there
Yes.
are some people lurking around who are
Mm-hmm.
like demons. They're just
Mm-hmm.
waiting to pounce
Yeah.
on something that you say, and they
Yeah.
use it. They hype you up, man, and tell you, "Oh, the man wicked and the man bad, and
Thank
the
you
woman
very
is
much.
this, and she
Thank
shouldn't be
you.
doing it." And before you know it, you're
Right.
left because they said it and gone, and
Mm-hmm.
you are
Mm-hmm.
the one that is left emotionally traumatized. And
Exactly.
before you know that hype,
Been there, done
when you
that. So
get back to
I
her,
know how it goes. I know
and
how it goes.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
I know
simple.
exactly how it goes. I know how it goes.
Yeah,
Oh boy, God is good. God is good. I tell you. So we have to just make sure, guys, that do that assessment. I shared a link earlier, and we said use the definition. Those are two tools that we give you this morning to determine whether or not your relationship is toxic. Use the definition. If you find that your relationship is non-supportive, your partner is always undermining you, there's no cohesiveness, you tear down instead of building each other up, that could be a sign that you're in a toxic relationship. And we didn't just merely narrow it down to romantic relationships, but even the relationship that you have with your family, your colleagues, your co-workers, and all of those things, your neighbors. You could actually be having toxic, even your church people, them too. You can have
that's
toxic
that's
relationships,
right.
and you
That's
have to do what is necessary to either get out physically, or you remain in that relationship, but you get
connect.
rid of the toxicity
Help.
in the
Yeah,
relationship. So Chris, we are at the end of another talk session. Thank you so much for keeping me company today. Really, really do appreciate you coming on. And yeah,
my
just
pleasure.
we do this, guys, just because we
Yeah,
we want
help.
to
But
better
help.
lives. That's all we want. Better lives, using our experiences and our stories, to
Yeah,
help others to live better lives, right? So keep safe, walk good, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
and
Bye,
Miss
everybody.
Blue says, "Good up, you go with you."
Good. Good enough we go with you. Walk good, people. Take care of yourself. Be
Happy day.
safe. All right. Take care, Chris.
Later.
Bye. Bye,
Mhm.
everybody. And